All right, welcome back to another episode of The Money Line. We have been on a little bit of a hiatus. We had the holidays, we had a flu outbreak, and sports basically ended for us. But we are back, and we're going to segue a little bit into some other things. We'll talk a little bit about sports, but this time around, we're going to keep the OG crew. We've added another guest, but now she's
DEI hire.
She's now permanent.
Second DEI.
Well, please welcome Luann York to the show.
Thank
She
you.
will now
Welcome.
be
You're welcome.
a fixed person on here, along with everybody else. So, welcome, Luann, and I'm glad that you could be a part of this. So
I didn't have a choice.
that's true as well. But today, one of the things that I wanted to talk about is I know a lot of the things that we talk about is the business of money and how people make money and the many ways that people have been successful and the just different ways that people are successful. I mean, for lack of better terms. Today, I wanted to talk about the business of law. And I remember a professor telling me this whenever I was in law school, and I never knew what he meant, but now I definitely do. But he said that there is a huge difference between the practice of law and the business of law. And the practice of law, you don't have to be a great attorney to be. Most great attorneys that I know are not super successful because they're nerds. They're smart. They're beyond smart. They can cite the law. They can cite a bunch of different things, but it's very hard, very, very, very hard to be a very good attorney and a very good businessman. And don't get me wrong, most of the guys who I know who are very good businessmen, they're good attorneys, but in order to be a great, you have to commit yourself to practicing law. And it's hard to kind of differentiate between those two things because you have to be kind of a jack of all trades.
I think that's why a lot of big corporate attorneys go into corporate law because they don't have to worry about that. You know?
I agree.
They don't
have
have
to worry
about the business
business
aspect.
aspect
I'm
of
here
it.
to be an attorney. I'm here to do one job and one job only. Everyone else's livelihood or anything like that is no concern of mine. I bill. I don't even see that money come in.
I
It
work
goes
the
to
law.
a completely different department, and I get a paycheck.
Makes sense.
That's all that it is.
Makes sense.
And I think there's a lot to be said about that. And this is not a knock on the attorneys who are not corporate lawyers by any means. I'm not a corporate lawyer, and I consider I think of myself as a good attorney, as a great attorney.
Yeah,
I think it's just it's hard to be it's very hard to litigate cases and maintain a business, especially when you have, I mean, you're accounting, you're part of accounting, you're part of HR, you're part of so many other things, you're part of networking, you're part of advertising, you're part of all these other things that corporate attorneys or attorneys who rely on a paycheck don't have to worry about.
Well, I think you're speaking more so for smaller firms because, I mean, truth be told, we are a smaller firm by choice.
Yeah.
You know, we have chosen to have a little bit more volume, but we still don't want to grow to where we have 50 to 100 employees. And yeah, those firms that are smaller want to be more hands-on. Not necessarily you don't want to let go of the baby or make it something that is no longer yours, but I think there's the perfect size of a boutique law firm like us. And then as we're starting to figure out, once you get hire so many employees or have so many employees, have so many cases, then those things can be spread thin and you can kind of lose control of it, it seems like, if you don't have the right, I don't know, the right parts, the right pieces, the right structure involved. So I think speaking to those smaller firms is exactly right. Like you have to run the business perfectly. And if you wanted to, and I have a few examples of some of your friends that, you know, some people we co-counsel with that have bigger firms, but they're still not those volume firms.
Yeah.
I think that's like the max that you can get to where you can still be a good business person and still litigate maybe 2-3 cases a year, 4 cases a year. We can cherry pick those really, really big cases, but not have to do it all the time.
Yeah, and I think that's the other thing too is people, the general public doesn't understand how much work goes into litigating a case, taking a case to trial. It is mind-boggling. Like if you have to get ready for trial 3 weeks in advance just for trial prep. I mean, you have to do
To maybe not even be
expert
called.
designations. Yeah, you have to do all of that 4 months before, 6 months before. I mean, all of that stuff has to be, discovery has to be done probably a year before. And all of this happens on just one case. Now imagine if you have 400 of them. And then you have...
and the financial burden it takes to
and the financial burden.
get a case ready for trial.
People don't realize that. I think on average, if you are working up a commercial case properly, I cannot fathom a world where you would spend less than $25,000 per case working it.
Bare minimum.
Bare minimum.
But it's just cases going to trial.
That's just a case going
Right.
to trial.
That's, filing. The first step, filing is already, with filing service and whatnot, you're already pushing $1,000. And then you have depositions.
Records retrieval.
You're paying for, a court reporter to be there, paying for the deposition itself, multiple parties. And then if it's even a more intricate case, you have more people to depose. If it is,
accident reconstruction person, you need the
expert.
Any expert is
expert
going to run you
witness.
10 grand minimum.
It's interesting. I would have thought that the court reporter would have been stuck with the case. Like,
No,
you would
court
think that's
reporting is
part
a
of
third
court
party.
fees.
No, it's not issued
Videographer.
by the court.
Yeah, same thing. Videographer, an additional charge. So stenographer, the actual deposition itself, a copy of the deposition, a paper copy, is another cost. It's mind-boggling how many costs are associated with that, and people don't understand that. That's why
upfront costs
that
you may not recoup
If you
for
go to trial
2
and lose.
to 3, possibly even more years. Yeah, so and if you have, or for us, we litigate a small portion of our cases in-house. Think about the ones we send out, and if you got 10, 20, 30, 40, 100 litigation cases and you're paying all that money up front, and it's staggered, so you don't know when that next one's going to go, so you're spending all this money to build up that you don't know when you're going to get back.
This information is great to know, because sometimes I get that question because our fees go up if we have to take it to trial. And sometimes clients will ask, why are the fees changing just because you're taking the trial? Well, I have to explain. So this is helpful background information. Even though I knew some of it, I didn't know the extent of
We had a
details
case.
of where-
We had a case that did not get to trial. We had to mediate it twice, and the expenses on that case, this is probably the highest that we paid in expenses, but the expenses on that case, we had to split it with another firm, was $376,000
up front
up front.
from just this one firm,
Correct.
375.
No. We split it. So
You split
whatever
that, okay.
375 divided by 2 is, we split that with the other firm.
175,000.
90.
Yeah, 185, 90. So yeah, that was it's part of the game. It's something that you have to do, and clients don't realize that. It snowballs very, very quickly, and I think that's a big reason too why whenever we decide to take on cases, that clients need to understand just as much as we do. Like, this is a cohesive working relationship. Like, we need to have cooperation on our end, just the way you have expectations, we do too. We're putting a lot of money and time into this, and it's all in the hopes that we can get you a recovery. And a lot of times clients fail to see that we're looking out for their best interest, because in the end, that's the only way we're going to get paid.
Help us help you.
Right. Right. I guarantee you the clients don't know. Do we ever, is it part of the practice that we let them know this is what we're putting out here just to make the case work? Just to go to trial?
Yeah, absolutely. We had a case recently that we could not get a hold of this client. We have to file a lawsuit in order to even recover the second set of funds. And we've been trying to reach him for, I would say, almost a year. He has not returned our calls. We've sent certified mail, everything to try to reach him. And he had some difficulties in his life this past year. But the first thing David said when he called was like, listen, if we're going to file a lawsuit, we are going to need client cooperation. You are going to have to show up for a deposition. You're going to have to be here for a mediation. It's going to require your attention and your
We're
time.
going to have to be able to get a hold of you if we need
to
you.
make these decisions. Right. And if you're not available, the court will kick us out the minute we delay their time. If at the minute you file a lawsuit, you get sent a docket control order that tells you deadlines of dates that you have to make. And if you don't make those, The defense could file a motion for summary judgment, meaning they have not complied with the orders, and because of that, they could throw the case out, and with prejudice, meaning we aren't allowed to refile on that specific case.
And all of this stuff, the client just, I mean, we've had clients where they're like, oh, that's absolutely not enough money. I want to file a lawsuit. I want to go to court. I want to go to court. All right. I just want to make sure you understand what that means. And we need to educate you on that. So we tell them, we make sure that they're aware of it, how much involvement that means, not only for us, but for them as well. And then all of a sudden they don't make themselves available for depositions. They don't make themselves available for mediation. They don't make themselves available whenever we need stuff, discovery that needs to be processed and due at a certain time because they decided to move forward. So it's a very cohesive relationship where we need cooperation on our end, just the way you expect things on your end. So it's when I say the business of law, it's because there's a lot of money moving back and forth, and it ebbs and flows. And seeing things like this, you have to have a client who is cooperative, and it's just kind of part of what it is.
And all that's explained at the beginning. I know you said, because you're, intake now, and I know you're explaining all that stuff and the difference in fees. It's explained at the beginning. Right. It's explained when the possibility of a lawsuit comes in, and if they don't want to settle at that point, we tell them this is what's going to happen. And then we get in it, and it's being explained again because they're in it, and they're kind of understanding and seeing all the moving parts. And I don't want to say it's not a pleasant experience. It's just a long lasting. I mean, it takes forever. The process is grueling at times.
I had no idea the amount of money you have to put out there out front. So cases that aren't as valuable, I wouldn't think that we'd bother taking it to trial. Like somebody just has a small fender bender, but they say, I don't want to settle for the $5,000. What do we do with that case?
I mean, 95% of our cases never make it to trial. Even the day of, they can settle. You're about to be called to, it's your turn on the docket, and defense will approach you and say, hey, let's get this done. Literally the day of. Yep. We've gum teed up, we're prepared, and settlement happens, and we walk out of that courtroom, done.
But a lot of times the insurance companies will force your hand. Say, okay, well, you want more money, we're going to make you spend.
It's a game of chicken.
Yeah, exactly. Well put. We're going to dispute it, or we're going to stand steady at our offer. You want to try to get us to come up? Well, you're going to have to file a lawsuit. Make us spend money to take it to the next level.
But the crazy part is they're spending money too, because they're hiring defense counsels. The insurance company, they have in-house counsel, but you're still paying for their time. They're billing by the hour.
They just got a bigger war chest.
Instead of just offering the client more money, they're going to pay another attorney to defend them more than what we're asking them to be reasonable for in order to defend it, just to push it on, just for them to eventually cave and make an offer that we're willing to accept. It wouldn't
be feasible for them to pay someone over a certain amount of time, then end up caving. So not only did they end up paying what we were asking for, they also paid somebody to stall it. It doesn't seem so.
But at least they're paying their people, and not.
It's their people.
They're paying us anyway.
At the end of the day, they have tens of thousands of cases. Okay, so they probably have a sweetheart deal with this in-house counsel, whatever it is.
It's a volume thing.
It's a volume. It's a game of numbers. They're getting paid anyway. Just throw this into the mix, see what sticks.
I see.
And since we're talking about like the business of law, I think one of the things that most people, this old school attorney once told me this, and he said the hardest part about being a personal injury attorney is getting the case. And kind of expanding on that, I've seen in the past 10 years the illegal means of case getting explode. Explode so much so that I have never considered like if there's anything else that we need to be looking at or alternate avenues to advertise. But at this point, it's hard to continue advertising and spending as much money as you do when there are people who cheat. And I'll give a perfect example of it. I posted something on Facebook about a news organization in Central Texas put out a warning to people getting scammed because a company based in Mexico was reaching out to people saying, hey, your police report is ready. We just need a few details. So they said, okay, you were in an accident on this date, correct? They said, yes. Okay. What's your name, contact information, blah, blah, blah. Was this how the accident happened? Yes, correct. Okay, thank you very much. Your report will be ready for you at the local police department. It was a scam to get all their personal information, because all that information, the very vague information, is available immediately online. So they get that information and call those individuals and get personal information. And then they have attorneys. They're
selling that information.
Yeah, they sell that to attorneys who then call them and solicit it to them.
Which is still illegal.
And this company is based in Mexico, Tijuana.
Yeah.
So there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
And it's just something that, besides that and the case runners, my fiance got into an accident 2 weeks ago, and in front of the office right here, within 5 minutes of the accident, there were 3 or 4 people who were either taking videos or they approached her and were just like trying to find out what was going on. And then we had another woman who said, hey, if you need an attorney, and I'm glad I was there with her, but I said, hey, I'm actually her attorney. And she was like, oh, is this what you do? She was actually questioning me. She was like, this is what you do. I was like, that's my office right there. And it's sad to see how rampant it is in Houston specifically.
Well, look at all the clients that we've, just in the last month or two that have sent us screenshots of text messages or voicemails that they've gotten from medical providers or legal companies, associated with law firms.
I'm amazed at how fast they know. The client I spoke with yesterday, she had no idea how they even knew she was in
I almost feel like they have those police scanners, and they're just like,
but they're not giving their information and phone number over the scanner.
Yeah.
It has to be tow truck drivers.
Or it's that new software that you are.
But even that software it's dated, right? So it's still 4 days late. Even though it's not like it's day of, it's about 4 days. She was getting calls the same day, or within hours of the accident.
Right.
How does that happen?
First line of contact, I think, is tow truck drivers,
gatekeepers, first responders, tow
first
truck
responders.
drivers. Yeah.
Second is medical providers. People at that front desk, they may not have loyalty to who they work for, and they may know someone on the outside that said, hey, any referral you send me, I'll throw some cash your way. Just send me the name and the phone number, because they fill that out on the client intake in itself.
Police officers. Yeah. I mean, it's shocking. It's crazy. I mean, any first responder, EMS, EMT people.
And you can offer, hey, I know an attorney, here's their card, you can call them. But the other way around is illegal.
The attorney calling the client.
Yeah. And I think that's the unfortunate part about this business. Specifically, I don't think that this is first off, it is a nationwide problem. It is more of a problem in Texas, and it is even more of a problem in Houston and San Antonio and South Texas. And it's just something that I've noticed time and time again. We have a lot of clients in the San Antonio area, and this happens all the time over there. All the time over there. So it's just unfortunate that we have to see this, and that's something that we have to navigate. It's like, hey, do you want to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars in advertising, or do you want to do it illegally? And it's an unfortunate thing where most people decide to do it the illegal way. And
the reward for that risk must be very high.
It must be. You know what it is it's a combination of the reward being very high and there being no teeth on the law if you break it. So if you do have...
No one's enforcing it.
No one's enforcing it. But more so, even if it is enforced, it's a slap on the wrist if you get caught. So that's kind of they go hand in hand, and it's sad, but it is what it is.
I thought your license could get suspended, or is it suspension, or is it barred?
There's a lot of things that can happen.
Yeah.
Whether or not they do happen are two different things.
No, for sure. There is a gray area, and a lot of people skirt that in itself. So.
Yeah, so it's one of those things where, as far as the business of law is, there's a lot of pitfalls that attorneys who are trying to do things the right way just have to navigate and kind of worry about. I mean, and the other thing too is, like for us, for example, we advertise all over the place, but how can you compete with people who have a $20 million war chest for the year, for the budget, for advertising?
So by that logic, your assertion is that the companies that are doing that has to be the larger companies.
No, No, I think the
Who has a $20 million war chest?
No,
he's
he's
talking
saying
about
war chest as
advertising.
in far as advertising,
Yeah,
commercials.
but not everybody
million
has a
billboards.
$20 million advertising budget. So the assumption would have to follow that it would be the
Smaller companies
Smaller companies that
that
are
have
using
$20 million.
no,
No,
that are
using
using
those
runners
tactics
that are using the
Right.
cheater
in order to
tactics.
come.
Yeah.
However, that's not true because we found out that there are the bigger companies that use those tactics also. They just know kind of better how
They
to
have a
conceal it.
department.
Yeah, they just know how to, operate in that gray area, if you will.
and it's part of the business.
Well,
Unfortunately,
you say that you don't know your difficulty is understanding how you can compete. You don't seem to be struggling from what I've seen.
Yeah,
with business, and you're doing it the right way.
and that's the thing. It's not a matter of struggling. It's a matter of probably, I guess, being frustrated that there is the cheaters and there are the spenders. And when I mean the spenders, I mean the 10 million plus budget a year spenders. And you have to fall somewhere in between those. And for me, in a perfect world, I would take 20 to 40 large cases a year, and I'd be good. But that is a perfect world. But that's my point. And guess who gets those cases? It's the people on these
Name
sides.
recognition.
It's either the people with a massive
Yeah.
budget or the cheaters. So that's why I'm saying, as far as the business of law goes, what do? You go with what you got, and you go from there. And
Well, it takes good business sense to know your market, who you're trying to reach, where to advertise, like for example, us, we have, the billboards in San Marcos. Obviously, we're from there, so we
don't
have
include this part.
good following.
We don't need them. We don't need people to know where we're getting our little.
Oh, sorry.
No, I'm just saying
Never mind, cut.
we don't need our little bread, like our where our bread and butter is coming from, so
Yeah.
people can outspend us there.
All right.
Yeah, keep going.
Cut. That's what I was talking about.
No, just you can
What
say
we've
we
been
have
doing
we
has
have
been
our areas
working.
that work
Yes.
very well.
Yeah.
We are rapidly expanding.
Yeah,
Absolutely. But you got to know where you want to advertise, who you want to advertise to, know
Who
the
your market
demographic,
is, yeah.
who your market is. Obviously, you start with friends and family and your closer network, and then you just branch out from there.
And I think that's one of the things too, kind of piggybacking on that I've noticed is I've gone back and looked at did an audit of all of our larger cases, and by far our largest cases have come organically. Yeah.
I agree.
Organically. And it's sometimes the facts are great, sometimes they aren't, but you got to kind of work with what you got and go from there. And don't get me wrong, we've gotten other cases from other sources as well, but as far as that goes, it's organically. I think we're for example, like that event. So we're having an event in a March Madness event, and I think those types of things, and I had told you this before, Ray. It never hurts for us to go shake hands because we never know where our next case will come from, and I think those types of things go a long way for people, especially when I tell people all the time, unsolicited acts of kindness, I think, go a long way, and people tend to remember that stuff.
Yeah, I agree.
Especially when you're going against big names that people are seeing on a regular basis on TV. And, I mean, I can't stand how many billboards there are in Texas and California and New
Louisiana.
Mexico and Louisiana. It's like every single billboard
I had
is
never
a
paid
personal
attention
injury
to that
billboard.
before working here. Billboard. I don't pay attention to billboards, but now I see them everywhere, and now I see the names, and I know the names now. And I'm like, oh my God, they're everywhere. Every billboard. I struggle to find the billboard that's not that.
Yeah, it'd be easier
That
to
is
count the billboards.
advertising anything else.
Right. I saw an HEB billboard the other day. Oh, that's interesting. That's not related to law.
The craziest part is how much money each billboard costs.
Yeah.
You're minimum $2,500, on average $5,000 to $6,000 per billboard. Per billboard.
Aside.
And I just really feel like I don't know how much billboards are really doing or in the market these days. I
Yeah.
just feel like everything is so internet based.
Yep.
I'm not going to see a billboard and say, you know what, I'm going to remember that.
I think you see it. I think it's one of those subliminal things, especially
it's
in Houston,
subliminal,
where
but
you're
I'm
sitting
still
there.
just going to go Google
Yeah.
Or
I think it's
a
just the
search engine.
visibility. They're still around. They're still here. Oh, look at that. Look at these. Look at this. And there they are again.
With traffic in Houston, that billboard is amazing. You sit there
Just
and
stare
you're
at
going to
it.
see it 4 times. Every time you move forward, you're going to look over and you're going to see it. And if it clicks to you enough and you say it enough, like a simple thing is a jingle, right? You don't think about how you memorize the Mr. Gaddy song until how you know that number until you sing it a few times. So now it's stuck with you. So you see that billboard a lot. Sure, you're going to Google it, but if it pops up on your Google, you're going to click that one first because you don't even know why.
Yeah, I understand that part, but I'm also the type of person that would probably be annoyed with how much I see it, and I'd be like, yeah, I'm not going to go there.
You're anti.
Yeah.
I'm
not gonna do that.
Out of sheer hate.
Yeah.
I
Very
would
true.
not go
It's
with
not
them.
hate. It's just
I don't want to see them.
obnoxious.
Right.
Like,
You know, and I'm a self-admitted, and I can't even believe I say this. I'm like such a hard critic when it comes to people asking me to leave reviews.
And you're
love-
blasting people every day for reviews.
love getting 5-star reviews, but
It is like a hit of heroin for them when you get to a 5-star review.
He ran at the office one day. Y'all see that? Somebody left us a 3-star review. What happened? I'm like, it's 3 stars. I don't know.
it's true. But whenever somebody asks me for a 5-star, I'm like, 4 stars. I don't know why.
Karma.
I don't know why. I don't know why.
Everything could have been great.
I can't figure it out. Like, yeah, I mean, y'all did great. 4 stars. I can't explain it. I wish I could. I can't
There
explain
are no
it.
A pluses with David.
I don't know
David
why.
gives no
I don't know
A's.
why.
You need to put the karma out there if that's what you're expecting.
I know.
back.
I know. And I.
They need to
I-
give you the option for 6. That's what they need to do.
Yeah, and then I'd be 5 stars all day.
5 sounds better anyway.
But no,
6 is like exceptional.
When you take an Uber ride, do you do the?
I never rate them.
I never rate unless they
Skip.
See,
But you're
I'm-
mad about your rate.
Skip.
Listen, I never go that far unless, most people don't go out of their way to leave a good review unless it was like an exceptional experience.
Yeah.
But people will always be ready to leave a bad review
Right.
if something wrong happened.
Right.
And I'm kind of one of those people.
That's another thing. As far as the business of law goes, that what really grinds my gears is people who will leave reviews and they're not even our clients. And we talk to them, we say, sorry, we can't help, 1 star, which we've had happen a couple of times. I'm like, why? Like, I'm sorry, we can't help you, so we get a 1 star for that. It's crazy because that really affects our business. Like, people, the first thing they do is go look at how many reviews you have and what your rating is.
But people who really care about reviews and stars will actually go read what some of the negative stars were about, right? When I go on vacation, we're choosing what resort to stay at. Even if they have a negative review,
What was it that?
what was the review? So I'm used
Some
to
people are
I
very
do that with
particular.
products. Like when I'm buying things,
Right.
I'll look at them and be like,
I wanna know.
one's like the shipping. If it had gotten here right, then it would be 5 stars. Well, like, you're not reviewing the product itself. Like,
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I always look at how many reviews and what the average is from that. You know what I mean? So if there's like 6 and there's 5 stars, if there's 6 reviews and they have 5 stars, and there's 2,000 reviews and there's 4.8 stars, I'm going with that one.
For sure.
They're more likely going to be
Yeah.
good than
Yeah.
Yeah, if you read some of the bad reviews, like I used to run a restaurant, and so if someone's always going to complain. So, just like you said a second ago, the only people who are going to leave a written review about your restaurant are someone who had some bad experience in some kind of way. You'll have 1,000 people ate great and enjoyed everything, but this one person's meal did not turn out great, and you're not going to do perfect all the time. So take it with a grain of salt that you didn't do great here. Say you're sorry. Explain it away. And offer, ways to kind of make it right. But I say the reviews are, if you're doing good work, you would know. People, and like you taught me, word of mouth and referral clients are the best. They will always send somebody. Let me tell you, Salazar Law Firm did me right. They're going to take care of me. They're going to take care of you. Go see them. And then they're going to sign them. The most recent one, we've done good work. They called us back. They're going to come back, and they'll send other people too.
Yeah.
So,
Let me ask this, as non-attorneys, what is it that you guys have learned? What's the one thing that sticks out that you guys have learned as far as the business of law goes? Just the one thing that sticks out.
I don't have time to think, or
That's the reason I said it to you first, because it gives me all this time to think about it. I would say that my thing is much like anything, like ducks on the water. There's a lot of background work that's happening that the clients will say, "Are you even working my case?" Well, yes, ma'am, but nothing happens.
I just see you coasting.
Yeah. They think I think they think because they're not in the office watching every call, or they're not a part of every interaction between the insurance company and this, that they think nothing is happening.
Yeah.
Things are happening, but you going to treatment is the most important part. So they won't appreciate it. You can't see it. It's kind of like when you order your food at a restaurant. You don't have any idea how long, what's happening in that kitchen in order to create your and your partner's meal, right? Mm-hmm. But when it gets to the table, you're like, oh, that's what I'm talking about. But you don't know. Chaos was going on behind there. So it's just one of those things that trying to help the customers or clients understand that there's a lot. And that's one of the things that frustrates me. Like, we're doing good work. There's a lot happening.
Yeah.
Give it time.
There's a lot of front-end work and tail-end work. Like you said, the middle is all treatment. Mm-hmm. They got to go and they got to be compliant, follow the doctor's orders, and make their appointments and whatnot. And
I think for me, the biggest adjustment or having the shock factor of it all is clients don't understand every single case is completely different and has a completely different set of variables that will affect the outcome of that case.
Yeah.
From the insurance policy, from their insurance policy, from how many times the at-fault person has been in an accident, the type of insurance that they have,
the adjuster
assigned to it, the treatment that they received, all those variables play into whether that's going to be an uber successful case or a meh case. We've had plenty of times where we've had a case that, there've been 6 claims against this person in the past 3 years. And so they hold on to the purse strings a little bit tighter. And then we've had one where, the client didn't even have to treat all that much. And boom, they forked over the policy, no problem, because that person that hit them had never been in an accident. So they've been paying premiums for 20 years and never had to pay out. And so when it was time, they're like, yeah, we'll just pay it out. And those are super successful. And then sometimes those people go and tell somebody or whatnot, or they come back again and have had another accident. And now these set of variables are completely different. They're like, well, the first time you guys got me this much, and how come this time it's, seems so much smaller? And it's like, well, it's a completely different set of circumstances this time.
Factors, yeah.
Everyone is different. And so when they call and say, well, what do you think it's worth? I can't evaluate that right now. Yeah. I don't have all the information yet.
First off, ma'am or sir, it's not about the money. It's about you and getting better and making sure that, you're, made whole again.
How are you, man?
Yeah, right. One thing that's, I guess I've learned over time with Lou and David, and as far as the business aspect goes for the law firm, is just like, and Lou will speak on better than this, is operations management and just having to juggle so many different, accounts, like, what it takes to keep this law firm afloat, like up and running. You got to worry about salaries and pay and individuals and everybody doing their job to make sure that claims are being pushed through or clients, cases are getting pushed through so that to settlement, so that we can get those checks so that we can keep on making the business run and make a profit. And then you got all the human factors of things going on in the office where, sometimes whether it's something falling through the cracks or, needing to bring in more personnel or assign different, duties to different people, like from an operational standpoint, managing that as well for you, David, the principal attorney can be overwhelming. Obviously you're not only the attorney, but our accounting, you and Lou are the accounting department.
Well, it's everything. Yeah. So it's personnel, it's running the law firm, but it's running the business and property insurance and dealing with
Marketing.
trimming trees and, you know, every little aspect that goes into keeping the lights on and the doors open
Yeah.
and people happy, all of us happy. You know, it's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if we were all just at a corporation, it wouldn't be any of our problems.
Yeah, you would just be. This is my job.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't even have to have peripheral in my corporate.
You know
life.
what's funny is I don't think the corporations give a damn whether or not you're technically each individual person is happy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I feel like
I don't
some
think they
do,
have-
but
I worked at IBM. I worked at Dell. I've worked a bunch of corporations. There was never we just want to make sure you're happy today, Ray. Now they have corporate events, but it's still very generic. It's not like you're getting personal, direct care. So I wonder why there's this ease of not giving a damn whether or not each individual person. Just people will accept that the corporation is detached from their happiness. They're there to do work and go home. And I don't know why
I think that's a key word is
people
detached.
will accept.
Yeah.
in our world, we don't really detach from this job. It follows us. All of us have notifications for text messages for our clients, for our emails. Things come through if there's something urgent, new lead, whatever it may be. Most of the times in corporate life, you're clocking in, clocking out. You get to leave all that behind.
Right.
Do your own thing. Get back to the office. Turn on your computer.
Yeah.
Get to work. Turn it off. Go home.
That's fair.
And so,
but we've also built this firm as a family business.
absolutely.
So I think that has a lot to do. We're not some board,
No, absolutely.
that has stocks and has that different tier of whatever. This is a family business. It's a small business, and we're trying to grow it. But that's why we don't leave it here.
Yeah.
No, I agree 100%. And I'm not complaining about it. I'm just saying that's the difference between it. I mean, I wouldn't want it any other way. And where I came from when I met Ray, working at DSI, small IT wholesale liquidation company doing logistics, I felt I had come from corporate, and I'd gone there, went back to corporate, and I said I would never work for corporate again because I loved the small business company, family-oriented vibe that I had with DSI. And I think once you do something like that and feel like you're a part of something versus just going in and working day to day, and it's like
Just being a number.
that wasn't for me. And we all know that it's never the same.
Yeah.
Every day is different. Yeah, there are a lot of redundant things that we do, but there's always something new coming up, and even new questions. You can never learn or know too much about the insurance and legal industry. Every client's different. Some crazy, amazing stories out there.
For sure.
Seen a lot of crazy things. So, I wouldn't change it for the world. It's definitely not something for the faint of heart, but
No, it's not.
But,
No, it's not.
it's a good thing.
Let's segue a little bit. I promised we'd talk about sports, so I'm going to talk about something I honestly don't really know a lot about right now, and that's basketball. I saw that.
College basketball or pro?
Well, let's talk about. I want to just touch on pros for a second. I saw that Cleveland just secured a playoff spot right
Very
after
early.
Cleveland
very
balling.
earlier.
They have been.
They
balling.
are like 10 or 12 games in front of the next.
See, I didn't know that.
They beat Boston the other day.
Who is in the West?
Lakers.
Are they number
Lakers are
one?
doing
No,
good.
Oklahoma City.
Oh, Oklahoma City.
Number one. Lakers are number two.
Okay,
How
so
far are the Rockets fallen?
they
5-6.
probably 5 or 6 because they
They're
keep
still doing good.
They win,
I mean,
they lose.
yeah.
They're not like winning a lot like they were before.
They've been streakier.
I was just curious about that. I didn't know. Do you think the Lakers are going to take it? I'm sorry, the Cavaliers.
I don't know that I don't know that they can beat. They can win 1 or 2 games, but in a 5 and 7 game series, they're gonna run tired. Like I don't really trust the starting point guard. He's very streaky. You have to stick with teams that have longevity, and I think that it's still the same horses in the East. It's still Boston. It's the Bucks.
The Knicks are doing good, aren't they?
The Knicks are doing good.
Yeah.
They have a good team. I mean, I would say they're surprisingly good, but they've made some trades in recent years that they're going to be strong for a long time.
I saw, two of their guys scored like 80 points or something like that.
Right.
Two guys I had not heard of, by the way. But no, I was just curious about that. Because we have our March Madness event, I feel like we're obligated to talk about that, even though I don't know anything about college basketball right now. So
that's going to be one time. I haven't watched any. I tried, it's terrible. I tried to watch basketball because I knew you were going to bring up this topic and coming up on our next thing. And I was like, I just couldn't sit through because I didn't know any of the players and I don't know any of the teams. And
I don't know who's
I'll tell you what,
who's number one.
Dude,
The
I think
Gators.
it's Cooper Flag for
Oh,
Duke.
for Duke.
He's a monster, dude.
Is he?
Like he's
Yeah.
they say the hype is real with him. You know, he's one of those that's going to be one and done.
Yeah.
I think.
Who's
that
the
good?
number?
I
Who's the
think
number
it's
one
Duke.
team?
Let me
Is it
see
Duke?
real quick.
Of course, it's Duke.
Shocker.
I fucking hate Duke.
Don't hate.
Yeah, so terrible. Always got some squad for no reason. Is Krzyzewski? He's not coaching anymore.
No.
I have
No,
no
he's
idea.
not.
Who's the coach of
It's
Duke? Mr. Crusoe.
it's isn't it an old basketball player? I say old, but he's like 35. Let me see. Okay, Auburn is number one.
Alabama's up there too, I think.
Duke, then Houston.
Yeah,
wow.
go Cougs.
I guess they finally cracked. Well, this is
Cougs,
AP top
house.
25. Tennessee, Florida,
Yeah, so Florida.
San Jose,
Yeah,
SJU.
Florida played Alabama last night.
Alabama's number 7.
Yeah.
It was
But basketball, dude, like top
It's
10,
hard to watch.
even top 20 is just like they're
Yeah.
going to be highly competitive.
Yeah.
Duke's head coach is John Shire.
Oh, maybe it's
Don't know who that is either.
no.
I got U of H in the Final Four. That's what I know.
Oh,
That's
okay.
what I got too.
Shocker.
I'll take Duke there. I hope they're in different
I got
brackets or
U of
different-
H and Alabama. Those are my two teams I'm calling in.
Alabama
Final
played
Four.
last night. Did you watch?
No.
I heard
They always
Mizzou-
have
How
a
are the Horns
super
doing? I thought
athletic-
the Horns were like
No,
no,
6.
I don't even
No
know if they're
way, the
ranked.
Horns are out.
Oh.
Yeah.
Not even in the top 25.
They're not in the top 25.
No, I saw that. They've lost a lot.
They were kicking butt early.
They can compete. They just can't
Yeah.
Win.
all of them. Yeah. I think they're at least 500.
Besides that, all I know is that the home opener for the Astros is 3 weeks away.
Yeah, I want to go.
And that's the other thing too, is I have no idea how good the Astros are going to be.
We lost Bregman
We did.
to the Sox.
We lost.
I think he just
Bregman.
wanted a change of scenery, honestly. I don't
Me
even
too.
think he got more than
The
what
money
the
he
Astros
wanted,
were offering,
yeah.
but he's playing with the Red Sox.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I'm going to go play in Boston. Shit.
I'll go to Boston.
Yeah, I would too. Make the same money, you know. But I
You know,
think
his dad's a prominent attorney in New Mexico.
He is. He is. We actually worked indirectly with his dad on a case.
Yeah.
Well, I wish I had more to say about sports.
Sports!
But this time, sports. Go sports. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a badminton championship on or something?
Pickleball, probably.
Would you bet it?
No.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
That big
Yes.
tall dude. He's live.
Yeah. No, but besides that, I think I really wanted to have this episode to kind of talk about the business of law because I feel like it's stuff that people don't understand. There's stark differences between the practice and the business of law, and I wish they did know more about that. So,
Cool.
thank you guys.
You're
Appreciate it.
welcome.
Till
See
next
you
time.
next time.
All right.
Next
Join it.
time.